All right, so this session is also talking about the whole rules in surface mining, and I said open pits. Oh yeah, who designing whole rules open pit? You have to make sure that with gradients, like I say gradient, my main say, how should I put it? Let's say any can say who design it, but whole rules no baby over for people be. When you say I say, fancy who design it rules. Yɛmfa road nkɔto baabi a yɛbɛforo pepa bebree ansa na yɛakɔ akɔdampe. Then be an mining engineers and as a mining engineer, you look at the shortest possible way of it me afa. Now what dampe o material. And I say obe pe kwanya ebeye a form flat ebeko. So why do you think? And I say yen gene ho hwe adentina yen pe pepa bebree e open pit mining mu. Say ya load material and the material na fro pepa hu bebree. Yen gene ho hwe. There used say the antenna, the person you stay between a gradient of 8 to 10%. 8 to 10% in say and one from probably over from proper should be between 8 to 10%. Wow, what can I say? Then I wait my car for home. Mining a far way 2 3 mining a two things. We consider safety and then we consider cost. Safety and cost. That is the mining. It is safety and cost. Into mining company being holding the safety area, bro. Your safety is in your own hands. And then cost. Who could design the whole roads and I saw my roads no. I am very steep and I am people bring the more machines in the air for people ATM na burning a lot of fuel. Fuels no the chiaka petrol. Diesel. Chiaka. So you have to make sure that if you are designing an open pit mine, your roads are as flat as possible. A bit my let's mine this. You know, you have a mine is oh yeah, that way. If we are now at the class na abana so yeah, if you are going there and come on here, baby. All right. It's a high surface. Surface. Anna, you're all in here. So it means that waste. Waste. So we are going to mine it. Okay, so this is a session through an all body before open pit operation. To say na si Canada a form one here. You can hear pa say that's here. Now session through all body just as all is expected. In Tia who say okay, per se mining. So you see what I was talking about. Once you actually have bench. So this is the working floor. You start it into here no. We down to all into no stripping ratio here. I had a bit my cash stripping ratio as well. No, you see, yeah, back down, your bench is not a mouse in the better be more by inside. So this is the all session through the all body just as all is expected. So you see, whilst we are going down, now for your so you drew scan. Session through an all body as all production commence. To drew her the all na ye deposit. So you see where the engineer started. I had not started here. One was started and free her. What's the free her? We try waste when you na to on. We try waste when you na to on. So if you are mining, that is why the exploration data is very, very important. That is why I explained that the exploration it talks about the knowledge about the ore body, the size, the shape, the grade. So geological engineer and good data, it means that you incur costs, but then you start from here, you mine. So always look at the shortest possible means of you getting your ore. The same thing we are here. Now I start here by Nico. All con waste, so you see, whilst you are going down, now it's the movie. To say, yes, to say all your waste is still there. Now, minerals are especially this is supposed to be especially minerals and especially waste. Okay, minerals and especially waste transport cost comprise the greatest amount of an open pit mine's working cost. Now, offer open pit mining in Nana, and who can in Nano? Baby, a tada, a D Casepa, say, where we are Boca Casepa, the transport of the mineral or the waste. And it's a make catcher say, if you are designing your whole rows, you have to make sure that you are between the gradient of 8 to 10. So, you will not burn a lot of fuel because in open pit mining, one characteristic of open pit mining is that you move a lot of material. Tambia dump trucks, Tambia dump trucks, moving material either to the crusher, to the rampart, or to the waste dump. So you have to look at the shortest or the optimized way of you doing your work, but still getting your money to reduce this cost aspect, especially when the pit gets deeper. And the following options are possible. So it's also year 2 come from Ninano. Now, emu kwan no ewa enti mo amaye mines ache our particular open pit, like let's say, let me use Goldfields EMP for final example. When they started, now for me air transport or bebre and I say me trim materials be free pit, but as so mine now from, don't forget that a kwan also ewa na a kwan ewa, because if you were here and I found that we crasher. Yes, crash our. It means you just pick your material, you dump, you go. But it means that you have to travel all this way. Now, these are some of the things you can do to cut down costs. The first one is that in pit crashes, companies go who say I don't know air question, the mining question. Now, if you build the crasher, no air pit inside the pit. So you blast, you pick the material, pit anymore, and then the macras and before we come and pick them to wherever you want to, let's say the processing plant or something like that. So as a result of high cost of rock transport, up to 50% of an open pit total operating cost many large pits consider continuous transport system. Yes, because you cut down Bibria, so what they do is that they employ or they use many one method is use more dump trucks, and you do a course. Let's say those who be doing the planning course, you'll be doing material handling, kakra or planning. If you are planning, your excavator be a number of trucks are assigned money corner. So if you think you have to do a lot of bargaining, that means you have to assign a lot of let's say dump trucks to that particular excavator to get a whole lot of material being loaded from the pits. Okay, as a result of the applicative flexibility, track and shovel systems are always popular and widely applied in mining. But in terms of energy efficiency, tracks use only 40% of the energy input to move the load. So in open pit mining, all these things I've already explained. That's why I'm just brushing through. In open pit mining, for the sake of flexibility, they normally use track and shovel systems. Track and shovel system now excavator and track. Some materials. Say in open pit mining, we do a lot of transport, material transport. So what we use is the excavator and then the dump truck. So one excavator you can assign like 6 dump trucks to it. It's any can say excavator no, any can say a hanging. Like I say hanging as a excavator jina hona dump trucks be a feed, that is hanging. And you queuing no so say excavator no. Queuing no so say excavator dump trucks na ba be salai ho na excavator no. I say dump trucks no bro excavator so. Yes, so I was saying hanging and queuing. And I was saying that the hanging is when the excavator is ready to feed a dump truck, but then it's not having any dump truck. The drew about so and that is hanging. And we don't want that. Two, the queuing we are talking about is when the dump trucks are there. Dump trucks now have be bring excavator load. Trucks use only 40% of the energy input to move the load. Okay, so the remaining 60% is used to move the entire mass of the truck itself. Fine. Conveyors use 80% of the energy input to move the load. So not only dump trucks and moving materials in the surface mining or the open pit mining. We have conveyor belts or conveyors. Mostly the conveyors, you see them as the plants. The one you'll be around the plant now, you will not see the conveyors. You will not see the conveyors. And also, na tra bisa na bones abani gusto na obiang kano enwa na kufidi. Sometimes maybe from class 1 to class 2, something like that. All the oil prices are now at more realistic level. Energy costs of trucks are still 50% higher than the conveyors in some parts of the world.